Tyler Moran, and this is my final submission. So, in terms of reflection on my final project, the things I think that I did right, um, I got out there and documented some of the adventures that I was able to um, participate in the time frame of the class. Um, and able to get those pictures posted on social media avenues that I chose and attach the hashtag outside is free to them. So, in that aspect, I feel like I was successful. I was able to get out there and kind of lead by example and prove that outside is free and healthy activity is the best choice over video games or just about anything I can think of. Um, what I would do differently, I think I could have probably experimented with a few of the other social media outlets. I didn't really use Twitter or LinkedIn or any of the new social media outlets that I registered for in the beginning of the class. I just didn't have time for them really. That was just one more thing to tie me to my phone, which I was not a fan of. So, um, and then back to that point of being tied to the phone, I think in the end I documented some of the adventures and activities, but not all of them made it onto the computer because I didn't have instant upload ability because I, in the end, have deleted my social media outlets from my phone. And then lastly, I think I probably, in terms of thinking more towards my thesis and this final project, could have connected with some of the advocacy groups that are out there, like Kids on Bikes and Up and Down. There's a few other groups that are advocating for outside activity and getting kids on bikes and things of that nature. um, in terms of changing my understanding, um, it definitely changed my understanding of the meaning of permanence as it's related to social media. Um, it made me realize the severity and the reality that is permanence in social media. I forget the title of the article, but it had to do with that lady putting that post out there about getting AIDS and getting fired. That's reality. That is permanence. Social media equals permanence. The severity of that permanence can vary, but um, in terms of subjectivity, it made me realize that a video like this is the best way to properly convey a message to a social media um, audience because of how subjective the other outlets are. I mean, they leave everything open to interpretation. You can't get tone across any other way, except for with facial expressions and change in pitch, like you can on a YouTube video. So, yeah, subjectivity. It was my understanding of subjectivity has changed a little bit. Um, in terms of my understanding of quality, I guess I kind of already knew this, but it's reaffirmed to me that there's a ton of information out there, a lot of it good, a lot of it bad. But what it did for me was made me realize that I don't necessarily want access to all that information right at my fingertips. It made me realize I almost had like an addiction to Facebook and Instagram and some of the other social media outlets that I was using, and I actually deleted those from my phone. I felt like I was getting information overload for sure. Um, and then my understanding of meaning, I think that it's made me realize that a video is the best way to get your true meaning across, regardless of the message, because you can display, uh, facial features and tone and pitch and or facial expressions, tone and pitch and other sort of things. So that way there's not a misunderstanding of the message you're trying to get across. And I chose this avenue for this reflection because I think I've clearly stated that this, to me, is the best way to get a message across. And it was, during the class, my favorite method of instruction or of uptake of knowledge. Like the TED Talks videos, to me, kept my attention and were, I don't know, it was just my preferred method of learning. So that's why I chose this method. Alright, well, that's that. This will be attached to my final project. Thanks for listening.